Hi everyone. Just checking in with my post-surgery video here. I got the procedure 2 days ago. I think everything went pretty well. I got that melanoma cut out of my face. I'll be removing this white bandage later this afternoon. But I just wanted to kind of come back and talk about how the procedure went and what kind of went on throughout that process. It was an interesting deal. If you watched the previous video, you know that there was quite a bit of stress and anxiety going on in my head before the procedure, because it's a pretty significant cut that they did. But the whole process went well, and the doctor delivered. He did fantastic stitch work and was able to keep me calm and grounded throughout the process. He was talking to me throughout the whole thing, and I had some meditation music playing in my ears. It was low enough that I could still have a conversation with the doctor. But as many have said, in some of those groups, the numbing shots are kind of the worst part of it. Those hurt. But, it's all part of the deal. The doctor did everything he could to minimize the pain from those, and I guess he did like a nerve blocker. It's kind of like a shot that the dentists give you inside of your mouth. He did that, and that made some of the other surface shots around where he did the excision a little less painful. Today's the second day of recovery. I didn't make a video yesterday. I was hoping to, and I was hoping to make one actually day of surgery, but I just wasn't up to it. So here I am 2 days later. Pain has been pretty good. They gave me some pain medicines, but I've been avoiding taking them and just kind of dealing with it with Tylenol, and that seems to be doing the trick for now. The first day was a little rough as far as pain goes, but back to the discussion on how the actual surgery procedure went. It's an interesting thing, having never had that experience before with someone working on my face, especially awake, right? I've had stitches on my forehead and other little minor things, but this was not a minor thing. And it's interesting with the different sensations and sounds that you hear throughout the process. One of the things I found most interesting is, as he began cutting it, I thought he was marking on my face with a marker the way that he did previous, in our earlier visit where he was going to show me what the plan was to cut. But I realized that it was not a marker, it was the scalpel. And he was in there actually doing the cut. Couldn't feel any of that. And then the scissors came out. I guess they snipped some things with the scissors after doing the incision around the skin perimeter. And that was a little unnerving, just the sound of the scissors doing the snip, snip, snip. And so at that point, I had my eyes closed. I wasn't watching any of that and just tried to kind of slip into a different place while that was taking place. But the doctor kept me talking. We were conversating about the kids and other doctor opinions that I had gotten to, he was curious how they aligned with his and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of kept my brain occupied while this was going on, and that really helped a lot. One of the interesting sensations is as he begins sewing it up, when the skin gets stretched back together, you could hear, it's like it kind of creates like a pulley or something with the stitch string, and you could hear the string rubbing against itself while he's sewing it up. And that was an interesting sound, and there was couple of instances where he had to cauterize some veins or arteries or something that were leaking a little bit, and that was an interesting sound. But there were no real instances of pain or anything like that outside of the shots. Those shots do sting, and I don't know that there's really any way to get around that, but those are kind of small in comparison to everything else that's going on, so they weren't too hard to deal with. Like I said, now I'm on the second day, and I don't know if you can see my eye. It's a little bit swollen. It's kind of it hurts a little bit because the hairs in my lower eyelid kind of rub onto my eyeball when I blink, so that's a little annoying. I can't wait to get this white bandage off of here later today. I'm just kind of waiting until the time clock tells me that it's time to remove it. I'm trying to do everything by what the rules say, so we wind up with the best result. The doctor did fantastic stitches, and like I say, I've never done this before, but I watched his videos on Facebook and Instagram and Yelp and all that kind of stuff when I was, I guess, like interviewing who was going to do this. And his work looked fantastic on those videos, so I stuck with it and trusted him and moved forward with it, and I think I'm glad I did. I'll find out once all this bandaging comes off, but he did give me a photo before bandaging it so I could see what he did, and it is a thing of beauty. So I think the scar is going to be good in a relatively short time. He did what he called a high tension stitch, so they're like X's, really pretty stitching style, and I'm sure it's more than just pretty, it's doing work. But yeah, everything went as good as it could go. I believe I'm cancer-free at this time, so we'll see how that turns out when the testing comes back. This was a wide excision procedure rather than a Mohs procedure, where they have the cancer marked out on there from the biopsy, and then draw a circle around the actual cancer, and then create a 1 centimeter margin larger than the actual cancer. So they create that 1 centimeter margin in anticipation of removing it all, and then they send that skin out to test to confirm that they actually got it all. And I guess with that 1 centimeter standard, the odds are really good that they get it all. But we'll find out once the testing comes in, and boy, fingers crossed on that. But everything went as good as it could go, as far as I know at this point, with the bandage on my face. But we'll find out when this white thing comes off, and I'll shoot a video of that also as I'm removing it, and we'll go from there. But here we are. I made it. And the anxiety before doing the procedure was way worse than the procedure itself. As I mentioned in one of the previous videos, the skin cream, I kind of got a special thing to have the doctor prescribe some sort of cream to numb the area before they do the shots. I think that was the right thing to do. That was an out-of-pocket expense. Insurance doesn't pick it up, but for $150 to reduce the anxiety, I went with it, and it made the numbing shots less painful than what I think they would have been without it. So I would suggest that. And then, as I mentioned in a previous video, also this surgeon that did this could not prescribe any sedative or anything to take the edge off while in surgery. So I got Ativan from my general physician, and I would also suggest you do that if you have any anxiety about it. Just kind of takes the edge off a little bit and makes it so you can relax through this thing a little better. So yeah, I did everything on my end that could be done, and I think he did everything on his end that could be done. And we'll see how things turns out when these stitches come out and when I get this bandage off of my face. So I'll check back in here in a little while when I remove the bandage. But for now, everything's good. I'm just tired. You know, it's exhausting. I don't know if it's because my body is healing from the cut or just all the emotional stuff that goes along with it. But, you know, I was just like super tired from all of it. And it's hard to see out of this eye. My vision's fine. It's just the swelling of that bottom eyelid and the eyelashes kind of scraping against my eyeball when I blink. You know, lots of rest going on, and I'm going to continue to do that. And that's it for now. I'll check back in when I'm going to do the bandage removal. Have a great day. I hope this video helps someone else that has similar things coming up and kind of give them an explanation of what my experience was, and maybe it'll ease some tension for you. Anyway, have a great day. We'll talk soon.